A recent rule change at the DOJ gives felons the opportunity to get their gun rights back. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today I bring you some great news from the Department of Justice as it relates to felons and gun rights. For a very long time, the ATF would try to give felons their right to bear arms back, but they had been consistently blocked. But now that responsibility will shift to the DOJ. And the DOJ says, okay, let's open the door for felons to get their right to bear arms back. Now, I don't know all the details, everything that's involved with this. It could be on a case-by-case basis. It could be on the kind of felony you have. But I think that this is a good thing overall. A lot of guys and girls out there with felonies deserve to have the right to bear arms. Shout out to my brother Craig Long. He had a violent felony. He was in jail for a long time, came home and became a part of society, became productive, became a law-abiding citizen. And if you're able to do that, then I don't see the problem. Some would say, you know what, it doesn't even matter, ABL, if they are a redeemed person or not. So what? Give them their right in the Constitution to bear arms. And that's a solid argument. I mean, it's right there in black and white. So I didn't say anything about, well, you have the right to bear arms if it's right there in the Constitution. So either we update that or we just give everyone that right. Now, before I go any further into it, let's check out a news clip here. I will link to the clip in the box if you want to see it in full without my commentary. If you're on IG, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
The Justice Department is looking to authorize a decades-old law giving individuals with criminal backgrounds an opportunity to buy firearms. Sinclair's Jeff Harris explains.
The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms has the power to restore gun rights, but the agency has been blocked from doing so under congressional appropriations since 1992. This rule creates a pathway to process those applications, but instead of the ATF, the DOJ will now be in charge.
Pamela C., a legal expert, tells us the interim final rule follows an executive order from President Trump last month directing a review of the country's gun restrictions.
Let's pause for a second. Do you guys think it's better for the DOJ to do this or the ATF? Y'all let me know in the comments below. Which agency do you trust more to do this?
The Second Amendment is one of the most important ones we have. Therefore, we need to have a way to reinstate persons' civil rights, which would include firearms.
According to the DOJ, the rule would open an appropriate avenue to restore gun rights to criminals who have proven they're reformed.
Yes, we want people to have their Second Amendment rights, but not having a constitutional right is not limitless.
Now, my question is, how would they be able to tell who's reformed and who's not reformed? You talking about a certain number of years, months outside of the penitentiary without being in trouble, gainful employment? Like, what do we look at as far as criteria that would make somebody be reformed?
Limitations likely to be put in place for those with violent and also dangerous backgrounds.
Limiting it to those who are nonviolent, no domestic violence involved.
Madeline Summer.
I don't know about that, because violence is kind of subjective. I mean, domestic violence, what does that mean? Okay, you and your wife get in a fight. It's mutual combat. She blacks your eye. You black her eye. I'm not saying it's okay, YouTube. Good grief. ABL, you say it's okay to beat your wife? No, I'm not saying it's okay. It's also not okay for a woman to hit a man, because that happens as well. But different story. I digress. The point is that sometimes fights happen, and I don't think that should be enough to have your right to bear arms taken away. All right. And also, you got guys, again, shout out to Craig. You got guys that have violent felonies who have turned their lives around, become productive. They deserve to have their right to bear arms back, in my humble opinion.
An attorney based out of Georgia, says, in addition to creating a pathway for people to own guns again, this rule will also clear up some existing restrictions and regulations.
If there were any unnecessary roadblocks on the way to someone having their rights reinstated that really didn't make sense, they're going to try to get rid of that as well.
But before a final version of the rule is issued, the public will be able to give some feedback.
There'll be an opportunity for people to comment on whether or not they think those rules are good or not.
Comment or vote? I mean, that's a big difference between the two.
Now, groups advocating against gun violence are pushing back here. Everytown for Gun Safety issuing a statement saying that this move throws out decades of bipartisan precedent and is laying the groundwork to put guns back into the hands of violent criminals.
Let's pause for a second. Do you think a violent criminal cares about the law? I mean, I know not him, the reporter, but to the groups that are against this, do you think a law will stop a violent criminal from getting a weapon? I mean, let's be serious. You got these guys in Chicago, the young dudes with the switches. If you know what that is, it's a little device you put in the back of a Glock handgun that makes it become a machine gun. It makes it go fully automatic. Those little devices are 100% illegal, yet all these young dudes have them. Why? I thought that it was illegal. How did they have them? Because they're criminals and they're going to go get illegal things. They're going to steal guns. They're going to make guns. They're going to put things on the back of them. They're going to do all kinds of things to have their instrument to go out here and terrorize people. That's what they do. So if you are law-abiding, doing the right thing, gainfully employed, raising your children, minding your business, why should you have less firepower than the criminals who are out to get you? Not one individual specifically, but criminals often prey upon each other, but also the general public. So why can't I, a member of the general public, have the right to bear arms and defend myself if I got a felony on my record? It doesn't make any sense. The criminal with felony after felony after felony will have his gun. He doesn't really care about anything. If he gets jammed up, if he go to jail, oh well, he does that all the time anyway because they're criminals is what they do. But I'm no criminal. I'm not trying to get locked up. I don't want to go make big rocks to little. So why am I being punished? As I close, I want to say this. I hope that this thing goes through, and I hope that it's not so restrictive because, again, I know guys that got violent felonies that have been to the penitentiary for years, 5, 10, 15, and came home and got their gun rights back. I know guys that have done that, more than one. So this should go a little bit further, and if anything, you look at it on a case-by-case basis. Okay, just look at everybody. Don't just look at a check list. Okay, you did this, this, and this. Nah, talk to them, interview them, go to their house if you got enough resources to do it. But look into what they're doing to give them their rights back. Or hot take, you don't restrict gun rights based upon criminal conviction. That'd be a hard sell, I know. So they're trying to kind of play it in the middle. But if you want to be in the middle, I would say look at everything on a case-by-case basis. Okay, somebody has a violent felony on their record. They got that when they were like 18 years old. They're now 42 with 3 kids. I mean, come on. Like, I think that person should be able to have the right to defend themselves. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about this rule change at the DOJ? You think it's a good thing, bad thing, somewhere in between? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think that this is good, but it should go further, not just to nonviolent. Because if I got a felony, I mean, what did I do? If it's nonviolent, then what was I? Was I stealing? Like, what's the felony I did that's nonviolent? I think that if you are out of prison, gainfully employed, you're not getting in trouble, you're doing the right thing, you should be able to get your gun rights back. I think that'd be a thing that we can all agree on to be right in the center. Some are going to say no gun rights back for any felon. Some are going to say all gun rights. It doesn't matter what you did. You could have been Ted Kaczynski. So what? Give them the right to bear arms. I'll meet right in the middle. And I think my middle ground will be enough to get this whole thing through and get a lot of you guys your gun rights back. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.